Just some remarks about al-khabath and najasa. As we said, al-najasa to the impurity is defined by the Sharia, right? But there's najasa عينية ذاتية. عينية ذاتية is like najasa is the body itself is impure, like the khinzir. I mean, if you clean the khinzir 1,000 times, the pork is still impure. So عين najasa. So when we talk about khabath, khabathun tara, something that happens. So something in the origin, your clothes are pure. If something, wearing something, for example, jild, non-clean or tanned skin of a dead animal, he cannot pray in it unless he go through the process of the purification according to the Sharia. So, and there's al-khabathatu al-najasa al-ma'nawiyya, the intangible one. The intangible one is not included here, which is the spiritual impurity. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about the rejecter of faith, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu innamal mushrikuna najas, the mushrik are najas, impure. This impurity is spiritual impurity. So if a mushrik will shake your hand, you don't have to clean it. If of course his hand doesn't have impurity, tangible impurity in it. So that's the spiritual impurity. Well, we said the waters are 3 types: tahurun and tahirun and najis. So all the water in the planet Earth, they fall into these 3 categories. According to the scholars' definition, we have 2 definitions. The first one, al-tahuru is the water that remains on its original state. The original state of the water, the color and the smell and the taste are unchangeable. That's the original state. The color, so it doesn't have color, no taste, and no smell. So that's the original state. That's tahur. Ma'u tahur is all the water, the rainwater, the spring water, the well waters, the water that flow into stream from the rain. Those are tahur, pure. The definition of tahir, clean, is the water, tahur, that changed one of his aspects, its color or its taste or its smell. But the changing done by something pure. The changing is done by something pure. For example, you put soap. Soap is clean, is pure. But for example, someone, a kid urine in a container of water. The urine is impure, made the water impure. So at-tahuru, the water that in a state of remaining on a state, original state, if you mix it with something that is pure, clean, then becomes tahir. From tahur, it degrades to tahir. And najis, the impure water, the one that mixed with impurity. The second definition, at-tahuru is the water which is pure and purifies. It's pure and purifies. At-tahiru is pure but does not purify. So at-tahur, the water of the rain, it is clean, it is pure. And you can use it to purify yourself. And when you say purification, in the way of the Sharia. So you can use it to make wudu, you can use it to make ghusl. Al-ma'u al-tahiru, it is pure, it's clean. But you cannot use it to make wudu or to make ghusl. So at-tahuru, at-tahiru al-mutahhiru, wa-at-tahiru, tahirun ghayru mutahhir. At-tahuru, pure, that purifies, wa-at-tahiru, pure, that does not purify. The evidence from the Quran about at-tahur. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً طَهُورًا. And we sent down from the sky or sama مَاءً طَهُورًا. This ayah, Surah Al-Furqan, ayah number 48. And the companion Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim, when they asked the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, we said, we travel in the sea and we have water for us to drink. And if we use it for wudu, we are concerned that we will not have enough water to drink in our journey. Can we use the sea water? قال هو الماء هو الطهور ماؤه الحل ميتته. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the sea water is tahur. The sea water is tahur. Here we have two questions. The sea water has salt in it. And I said the water that flows in a stream, if it flows in a stream, it's going to have the color of the dirt, right? Let's say tahur, that's what we're going to see. Because a pond, for example, a pond is mixed with the dirt. That stay tahur or becomes tahir. A pond that animal that come drink from it. That stay tahur or becomes tahir. We'll explain it. So he's saying here, قال المياه ثلاثة. المياه ثلاثة. The waters are three. طهور. طهور, this is what we define. لا يرفع الحدث ولا يزيل النجس الطارئ. Look, قال لا يرفع الحدث. You remember we said الطهارة is definition, as he said, ارتفاع الحدث. So to make ارتفاع الحدث, which is to change this hadath into way of to clean ourselves, we need only the water that is tahur. So you cannot have clean yourself by rafa al-hadath or remove al-najas, which is impurity. Remove the impurity only with al-ma'u that is tahur. قال ولا يزيل النجس. يزيل, remove, النجس, impurity. الطارئ. الطارئ, it means something that impurity came to get into the clothes or into the body. This is the difference we said, but not something that in itself is impure, like the pork. So we talk at-tari'u, something that it is clean, pure, and impurity come to get onto it. غيره. غيره, this is to finish the sentence because it starts with negation. قال لا يرفع. Nothing will help to remove the hadath or to remove the impurity that it caused or get onto clothes or on the body or on the place, only at-tahuru, nothing else. Wow. فإن تغير بغير ممازج. Now, if the water tahur remaining in original state change, we've been throwing something in it that is pure. Like he said here, كَقِطَعِ كَافُورٍ. Kafur is the camphor, or leaves that used before to have some, to change the smell of thing for good odor. If something fall in the water that is tahur, with the condition, what is the characteristic? قال أو دهن ودهن. What is the duhn? Is like oil. أو بملح الماء, or salt extracted from the water, because there's two salt. There's a substance extracted from mountain, from the earth, and salt extracted from water. We're talking about the salt extracted from water. These three, they're not mixable, so they will not melt in the water. They will not melt in the water. So the changing of the water here, it's not complete. We have tahur and we have tahar, that something changed. This comes between, subhanAllah. So you put in it a substance, any substance that is clean and pure, but will not melt into the water. So you can take it out. Like he mentioned the camphor, he mentioned the dohan oil, the oil, it doesn't mix with the water. أو سخن بنجس, or someone he need to warm water and he didn't find anything except impurities, something impure. He put fire on it and he warmed it with that impurity. Now the impurity, use it like if you use wood. The smell of the wood get into the steam of the water, which may change its smell. So here we have the changing of the water, not remaining anymore on its original state. But this, can we use it or not? يقول المصنف, yes, but with karaha. It's disliked, but you can use it. So we have here al-mas'ala that we need to understand. We have here changing of the water, and not complete change, like putting in it a clean, pure substance that it doesn't melt in it, but we have a change in it, change of taste, change of smell, but the water is still remaining or keeping the main factor of being water. This one is still ma' tahur, but with karaha. Why with karaha, the ulama? Why they're saying is disliked to use it? We use it, but it's disliked. Why? Because it's not pure tahur. And we cannot say we cannot use it because the changing of the water is complete and is being touched or mixed with something that is pure, but is not fully mixed with the water, like the example he mentioned, al-kafur wa duhn. And when used to warm it, he gave the example, and this is what the example al-mujawara, something next to it, burn, which caused the water to change its smell. As long as you didn't mix it with that impurity and the effect comes from outside, that the water, you still can use it, but with karah. Well, so I repeat what he said. قال فإن تغير, if the water changed, بغير ممازج, with the substance that is clean but will not melt in it, something that will not fully get mixed with it, like the soap. When you put the soap, you feel the whole water change. When you put, for example, anything that it mixed fully with the water and melt in it. This is غير ممازج, غير, so it will not melt in it, it will not mix with the water. And he gave us example. So the example that he gave, we make analogy, like the scholars say, for example, a chemical substance that is clean and fall into the water and it doesn't mix with the water, you can take it, even if it change some of its substance, original substance, you still can use it, but with karaha, is disliked. ككافور كقطع كافور ودهن أو بملح مائي. And he said, or with a salt that is origin come from the water. Why? Because this salt came from the water, came back for the water. And this we have the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. But that's the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ concerning the seawater, that salt is originated, is part of the seawater, so it's tahur. We don't have karaha. The karaha comes when we have water that is tahur, pure and purified, and you put in it salt, or you put in it qita or kafur, piece of kafur, or dohn, or oil. This will change it, but you still can use it with karah. Wow. Now this is the first step. So we have tahur. What if it change? We said it's going to change. It's either, but something that is tahira, clean, you mix it with something clean, or you mix it with something that is impure. With impure, that's impure. Pour it on the side. When you mix it with something clean, this substance that you're going to mix with is either going to melt or not melt. If it doesn't melt, you can still use it, but with karaha. What it means with karaha is dislike it. If you have the other water, it's preferred to use the other water. And you remember last time when we explained the different law of the Sharia, what is al-makruh? Al-makruh, if you do it, you will not be blamed or punished. And if you will not do it, you'll be rewarded. So if you have this type of water, the scholar they're telling you is dislike it to use it. So if you will find the pure water, which is tahur, you will leave it, you will be rewarded. Why? Because you want to find the other water. But if you don't have other water and you only have that one, so that will be enough for you to allow you to pray. So that's rafi'un lil hadath wa muzilun lil khabath. It helps you, allow you to have your wudu, and also allow you to remove impurity from your clothes or from your place or from your place of prayer or from your body. Father? So this is what Almustaqni3. So go on, and this is the way we're doing it, the way of Salaf rahimahullah, how to take a book and go step by step. Now this is the way how we change. Now we'll leave it, if he melts, we're going to delay it, postpone it. Why? Because we have another issue here. What if it mixed with something pure, but not with the action of the human being by nature? For example, a pond, a rain, you have a big rain, and then we have a pond, and this pond stays for some time. The water will change because of the stagnation of the water in that place. If this water becomes impure or pure that cannot purify, or stays, we'll have the hukum, the original hukum, the original ruling that is still tahur. This is what he's going to say in the next sentence. Look what he said. قال وإن تغير بمكثه. If he changed, بمكثه, because of lasting time, staying stagnant in one place, like example a pond. أو بما يشق صون الماء عنه من نابت فيه أو ورق. أو بما يشق. يشق is something that is very hard, that is going to cause a hardship for someone to avoid that the water will be mixed in a pond, will be mixed with the dirt. That's impossible. Or also it will not be possible for you to take away the dust from the water because they're mixed together. So here we have one element, remember it, is al-mashaqqatu, the hardship. قال يشق صون الماء, to preserve the water on its original state. Imagine a pond and you want to keep it clean. It's going to be impossible because there's going to be rain There are going to be leaves falling into the pond. There are going to be rain going to mix the pond and have the dirt comes. There's a lot of natural thing that, al-mukallaf would be impossible or very hard for him to prevent such a thing. وَإِن تَغَيَّرَ بِمُكْثِهِ أَوْ بِمَا يَشُقُّ صَوْنُ الْمَاءِ عَنْهُ. It's going to be also hard to prevent or to preserve the water in its original state because of the natural thing that can happen to the water. مِن نَابِتٍ فِيهِ. For example, there's the plants that grow into the water. Those plants might have taste, and that taste will change the water. مِن نَابِتٍ فِيهِ. Like the algae, things like change. فِيهِ أَوْ وَرَقٍ, or leaves. You need dry leaves, they fall into, for example, in a well. You see wells and around it all trees, and those leaves fall into the wells. And there's leaves who really have strong taste. They change the water. أَوْ وَرَقِ شَجَرٍ أَوْ بِمُجَاوَرَةِ مَيْتَةٍ, or there's a dead animal close to this pond. So what is the effect of the dead animal close to the pond? Is the smell. So it might, with the winds, affect the smell of the water. أو سخن بالشمس, or it change and get heated by the sun. All of this make the water still tahur. You can use it as in its original state. قال أو بطاهر لم يكره. It's not disliked to use it in this state. Why? Because the changing of the state of the water here is out of the control of the mukallaf, and it happened with things that are natural. So here, what are the evidence in the Sharia? The evidence يقول الفقهاء رحمهم الله يقول there is قاعدة in the fiqh المشقة تجلب التيسير. This is another principle that we learned today. المشقة, hardship, bring easiness. Hardship bring easiness. So المشقة here, it's really difficult and very hard for the mukallaf to prevent the water of lakes, the water of ponds, to not change by their natural changing. Therefore, when you are traveling and you find such water, and you don't have the capability nor the possibility to prevent that water to mix because it's something happened natural. So the qaida say this is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not put you in hardship. Therefore, He will allow you to use it. He make it easy for you to use it. So the water, as He's saying, وَإِن تَغَيَّرَ بِمُكْثِهِ, if heats, the water change because being stagnant. So change any of its aspect. أَوْ بِمَا يَشُقُّ صَوْنُ الْمَاءِ عَنْهُ, or it will be hard for someone to prevent the change of the water by plants that grow in it, or by leaves that fall in it, tree leaves that fall in it. أَوْ بِمُجَاوَرَةِ مَيْتَةٍ, or because it's in the proximity of a dead animal. أَوْ سُخِّنَ بِالشَّمْسِ, or being heated, because heated by the sun, some scholars they say it changes some of its substance. أَوْ بِطَاهِرٍ, or being heated or warmed by something clean like wood, something pure, and it changes smell. All of that, the water stays in original state. Even though it changed, but is ruling, it is being like you using the water that is from the rain, the pure, clean water that you know. Now,
What goes
the dead animal inside the water becomes impure. Unless it's abandoned water that will not, the dead animal will not affect it. That we're going to talk about the abandoned water. Because if you have a lot of water in a pond, the dead animal will not change it.
Does that also include sea animals?
No, sea animals is, if they die, it's halal to eat them. That's the portion of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, because Jawab al-Hakim, of the scholar, they said, he's been asked ﷺ about the water. And the Prophet ﷺ answered them not about the water, because he knows ﷺ that they're going to also need to eat. So he gave them another hukum that he didn't ask about. قال هو الطهور ماؤه الحل ميتته. And the dead animal of the water is halal to eat. تفضل. I need someone to repeat your question from the brother who heard it.
My question is that when they're swarming, they put the manure on the soil. So after some time in the manure, you lose water and it decomposes. So when it rains and the manure runs on the soil, and it runs off into a source of water, is that water still pure or?
They put chemical, you said?
No, it's like manure.
Huh?
Animal feces.
Animal feces.
In this case, so it depends really, because this is what put the feces, he said, right? Yeah, what put is like, that's the head of man, so it's not natural. So if it fall in the water and it changes one of its substance, therefore it becomes impure. Why? Because this is as we said here, if it change in a natural way without the intervention of the mukallaf. The intervention of the mukallaf, he change it with something that is non-mixable, it becomes makruh. If it changes with a natural thing, it stays, the hukum keep the same ruling as being in its original state. So in the question of the brother, there's an intervention of mukallaf to put things that are impure if they end up in the water and change one of its substance. And the substance of the pure water, which determine for us that is in its original state, are three, right? The color, the taste, and the smell. The color, the taste, or the smell. If the color or the taste or the smell change with mixing the water with something that will not melt, we can use it and become makruh, dislike it. If it's the color or the smell or the taste change with a natural thing that is not be impossible for us to prevent it, we can use it as in original state, as the example that he mentioned here. But if there's changing, that intervention, as the brother said, that will be the mukallaf who put it there, therefore we'll go back to the ruling. If one of the substance or the origin element of the water change, therefore it becomes impure.
Okay, we mentioned the boiled water. A lot of people, they grab like a bucket of water and boil it to a certain degree to make it clean before they distribute it to a community. Would that water still be considered disliked since it was man-boiled?
No, he said here, I repeat exactly, he said, in the matan, أو سخن بالشمس أو بطاهر, is being heated by something that is clean. And actually the fire, is that what, so the fire is not considered, but what we light, like wood, If the wood is pure, so it's clean, therefore it stays on its original state. If what the substance used to burn it, to heat it with, is impure, becomes makruh, which is the case that you're talking about, is being heated in a normal way, therefore it stays pure in its original state. No. No. That's part of the water. That's part of the water. Yeah. The snow and the air, that's part of the water. Anything like the water is either becomes like frozen water or things.
Question regarding where would this fall in category? Within Tahur or Tahir, regarding when we usually clean bathrooms, I would say everyone usually use buckets of water,
Yeah.
and they use other solutions along with them. Is our bathrooms considered pure now, or we have to wait until
When you are in a shower.
you know, because nowadays, you know, showers and toilets are mixed in one area. So let's say, like, for example, public facilities such as the masjid, there are times that people prefer to stand, unfortunately, to urinate, and it will splatter all over. And the method that everyone usually uses is a bucket of water mixed with like solution of Clorox or Almustaqni3. Now, would that still purify the bathroom, or that's considered that water?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because the substance added to the water is actually which is purpose to purify. Yeah. Any other question? We'll give you another evidence concerning the waters. There is water that is abundant. For our brother, he said, what it fall into, for example, the dead animal was inside the pond. If the abundance of the water, such any impurity fall in it, will keep its substance, therefore is always pure. Tahur. As the Prophet ﷺ was asked about, there's a well in Medina. The well in Medina is named the well of Buda. This well, they used to throw in it the blood of menstruation, dead animals. So they were questioning. They said, Ya Rasulullah. He said, about Bi'r Buda, a lot of impurities being thrown in it. It's a very big well. Look what the Prophet ﷺ said, قال الماء طهور لا ينجسه شيء. That is ma' tahur, pure that purifies. Nothing can make it impure. Why? He said nothing, ﷺ, because the quantity of the impurity thrown in it didn't change any of its substance. Therefore, not putting an impurity make the water to be impure. No. The impurity that changed one of the elements of the water make it impure. But if we have it as the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, قال الماء طهور لا ينجسه شيء. So as long as he's remaining or preserving its element, the substance, the original substance, whatever you mix it with, and still have is preserving, no color, no smell, no taste, then it's tahur. It's tahur. Further. It is tahur, as in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. The well, they used to throw a lot of impurities inside the well. I mean, they say remaining of blood and dead, small animals, everything. As long as the water doesn't change any of its element, the main substance of or the element of the water stays tahur. The same there, sewer, like all of them, they get into the sea. But the sea is abundant water, so stay always tahur. And that's when we're gonna come to the next time, inshallah, we'll see the minimum quantity that when you mix with it impurity, don't even, just be mindful of it, because it will not be impure. And that's what the Prophet ﷺ قال القلتين, he mentioned what the meaning of the two quantity of 2 jar of water. We'll explain it. That's لا يحمل النجاسة, it will not carry any impurity, and we'll see what it will mean that, inshallah. We'll study. طيب. Any other question? The prayer today is at 7:30. 7:30 the prayer, inshallah. Would you like we start the Aqidah and then we take a break 15 minutes before the prayer and come back after the prayer? Or you want to take the break now? No. The sister, they want. We want to be like democratic. The brother, do you want to take the break now? No, please.
Are we done with the Tahara?
Huh?
We're not done with the Tahara, right?
No, we're done with today, inshallah. We're done with today.
So you said 10 minutes before Salat.
Yes, it's either you take the break now or we take the break before Salah. Huh? Who want to take the break now? Your hands. So only if your sister that want to take the break now. طيب, you will take the break now. You have 2 minutes. I'm kidding. 10 minutes. Back 6:30 inshallah.